Welcome to another episode of Back to the Past. I am Blair. In this episode, I am going to be cutting up what is probably my most prime possession log that I've ever had. And when I acquired it, I didn't have any idea what I was going to do with it. Stick around. This log I found on an old mining or logging road that had actually been dozed down probably a couple years before I even found it. And I really didn't want it to go to waste. And at that time I had no idea how old it was. It was cut up near timberline. So the growth rings in it are pretty doggone close together. But when I cut off an end of it and tried to count the growth rings, I came up with well over 400 of them. So this log's over 400 years old. And I think that I'll use it for tables or tabletops or something. I'm going to cut it into 8/4 thicknesses and use it then for whatever I might use it for. But I think once it's sanded down and the grain in it is so finely seen, I think it'll make for a beautiful tabletop. Now, when I tried to cut or count from that end cut off, I sanded it down as best I could. Some of the rings are just so doggone close together that you can't even count them. So I'll hopefully get a better count on them. But again, this to me is just a real prize log. It's been dead for, I guess, around 20 years, and it has reached its maximum dryness, I'm sure. I didn't protect the ends at that time because I didn't really know what I had or what I was going to do with it. I sharpened up a blade, so I think I'm ready to cut. I've got the log set to where the center pith is even on both ends. I'll start out, I'm not going to be able to get full thicknesses when I first start so as not have anything go to waste. I'll probably cut a couple of pieces of 4/4 first, and then when I get down to something that's wide enough to use for a tabletop, I'll switch over to 8/4. We'll take a look at the pieces that I'm getting after I'm finished cutting, but looking at them so far, the grain pattern isn't nearly as pretty as I thought. It is so fine that you can't even see the grain in the wood. It's almost a clear white wood. I think what I'll end up doing now, thinking about it, in finish them, I'll cut the ends off smooth and sand those down good to where that grain pattern can be seen. Let me sweep and blow the dust off of everything, and we'll take a look at the lumber I got out of it. And then I've got one more log I want to cut up. It's a cedar log. It's only about 1 foot in diameter, as I recall, maybe 15 inches. But I do need just a little bit more cedar for my workbench out in the carport. So we'll go ahead and get that done yet today too. All right, this is what I ended up getting out of it. I got 5 pieces of 8/4 and 2 pieces of 4/4 lumber out of it. And the knots really make this very pretty on several of these. Gosh, this one here has some very, very tiny knots in it. And I sure wish I could show you the end grain. It's a beautiful log on the end, almost clear looking. Very difficult to see any grain at all because, like I said before, the grain pattern is so doggone tight. But this should make some pretty interesting tabletops. This lumber I'm going to end up putting upstairs in the barn to where it stays at a good constant temperature and humidity. And Gabby has evidently misunderstood what I thought was the intended use of this lumber. What turned out to be a pleasant surprise for me is how much usable lumber that I got out of that log, and it wasn't really all that big. I have sprayed everything so that it is bug proof and a little bit resistant to rot and stuff. Red cedar is actually pretty good on its own, but since this will be used outdoors, I want it to be extra special. Anyway, I will see you on the next one. Could be a while. Today is Christmas Day, and I wish everybody a Merry Christmas. The one thing that I also did is to clean up my mill track, clean up the mill. I will need to do some adjustments on it and such, maybe. At least check the adjustments that are there. But what I do to clean it up and get ready for winter is to go ahead, first of all, blow everything off that I can, and then take a garden hose to it on a nice warm dry day like today is in the 70s. And from there then I can put it to bed for the winter. Now my surgery is in 4 days from now, so I don't see using this again until probably at least May, at least not with 2 hands. Thanks for being here. I will see you on the next one. Goodbye.